I don't think I would last in jail. I don't know how you're doing it.
Not well.
Just don't want to depend on him, I guess. I think that's everyone's fear.
I miss your eyes. Your nose.
I like yours.
That's crooked. Maybe I can get beat up in here and someone will punch it so hard it fixes itself.
Sheriff's office, anybody inside? Mount your presence, make yourselves known.
I love you and I miss you.
Stop. I love you.
So, I think it's time we start talking about what happened to your parents. Like the truthful version. Okay? Okay. What? Because listen to me. This is the only chance you're going to have to tell us the truth. I can't tell you what we know, but we know you're not telling us the truth. We know your parents are no longer with us. Okay? And we know the reason why. Okay? You need to tell the truth. Listen. You need to tell the truth about what happened and just tell us why it happened. Okay?
A 23-year-old man tells his parents he's graduating from college with an engineering degree. He shows them transcripts, emails from professors. He tells them he's working remotely for a major insurance company. And then, the crowning achievement, he's been hired by SpaceX, Elon Musk's company. He's moving to Florida. He's already rented an apartment in Titusville. He even bought a car. His parents are so proud. His girlfriend is excited to move with him. Everything is falling into place. Except none of it is real. Not the degree. Not the job. Not SpaceX. He flunked out of college after one semester. He's been sitting in his bedroom playing video games for years. He's created hundreds of fake emails, inventing professors, advisors, HR representatives who don't exist. He's even used a burner phone to pose as his college advisor during a call with his dad. It's an elaborate, pathological web of lies. And on July 1, 2021, when his accountant father finally calls the college and discovers the truth, when a meeting is scheduled to confront him at the school he's been pretending to attend, Chandler Halderson makes a decision. He shoots his father twice in the back with a rifle. He kills his mother when she comes home hours later. He dismembers both of their bodies with a saw. He burns over 200 bone fragments in their fireplace. He scatters their remains across southern Wisconsin. Torsos in farm fields, legs along riverbanks, pieces stuffed in trash cans. And then he reports them missing. Says they went to the family cabin for the 4th of July and never came back. But investigators notice something. His story doesn't add up. And when they check his girlfriend's Snapchat location history, they find him standing exactly where his mother's dismembered legs would be discovered days later. This is the story of Chandler Halderson. A young man who lived a fantasy life.
Thanks for staying with us. Officials are still searching for this couple, Bart and Krista Halderson. Now, there are a lot of questions about the Dane County couple's disappearance that we are working to get some answers to, but tonight, police aren't saying much. That led us to the couple's son, who says he's just as confused as investigators.
Police say the couple had planned to go to their cabin in Langlade County. Their son, Chandler, asked not to be shown on camera, but he told us he didn't see his parents leave and added they didn't drive themselves.
They were picked up by their friends, who I never got the name of, and I assumed it was someone I was aware of, the close neighbors of theirs up the street, or their best friends down on the east side. So that's what I assumed. I never really asked any further.
And Chandler Halderson says for his parents to leave, even with another person, does happen from time to time. But he tells me another family member went to that cabin to check out cell service and was able to get through.
Hopefully we'll get some answers soon. Adam Duxer reporting. Adam, thank you.
Who lied to everyone he knew. And when the lies were about to be exposed, he murdered the two people who loved him most. All because he couldn't face the truth. Bart Ashley Halderson and Krista Ray Frater seemed like the perfect couple. They married on July 30, 1994, after meeting at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, where both had earned bachelor's degrees. Bart was a certified public accountant who worked as a managing director for BDO, an international accounting firm. He was meticulous, organized, structured, the kind of man who kept detailed calendars and asked questions until he understood something completely. Krista worked as an administrative assistant for Zimbrick Automotive in Madison. She was warm, nurturing, creative. She loved art projects, interior decorating, and pouring her heart into her family. Co-workers described her as punctual, reliable, someone who never missed work without calling. Together, they built a beautiful life in Windsor, Wisconsin, a quiet suburb about 15 miles north of Madison. They had 2 sons, Mitchell, who went into IT and was engaged to be married, and Chandler, born on March 15, 1998. The family loved camping, attended scouting events together, and were active in community organizations like the Optimists and Kiwanis. They had 2 dogs, Izzy and Rizzo. By all outward appearances, the Haldersons were living the American dream. Chandler seemed to embody that dream. He was charming, friendly, popular. He had a longtime girlfriend, Catherine "Cat" Mellender, whose family owned a farm in Cottage Grove. He told everyone he was studying Renewable Resources Engineering at Madison Area Technical College, MATC. He said he was working remotely for American Family Insurance. And in June 2021, he announced incredible news: SpaceX had hired him. He was moving to Titusville, Florida. Kat was going with him.
I mean, everything looks still pretty close up, like it's.
Sheriff's office, anybody inside? Announce your presence, make yourselves known.
Nobody inside and nothing looks like it's disturbed.
You said most of their friends are still in town, back at your hometown. All the ones we could think of that they would come up here with.
Okay.
But I guess we were thinking they came here. I don't know anybody else that has a cabin up here.
Sure.
Hi, my name is Chandler Halderson. I live just down the road.
Oh, yeah.
You're the one with all of the police.
Yeah.
I was told you had the fancy security system. I was wondering if you were able to capture the road or my house.
The police actually came and downloaded everything they have. But it's actually my sister's house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they were here, I think, till like 9 o'clock last night and downloaded all the video she's got. So we're hoping that...
Yeah, did it capture anything on...
We don't know. We don't know. They just took a copy of everything, and so we're hoping...
Widening the lens?
Yeah, and it's all... Yeah, and it's all HD, and then I think there's one...
Especially in the dark. It looks like it has a little bit of night vision.
Yeah, and there's one on the corner of the garage, too. I don't know if that one quite goes that direction, but...
I think it's open. Anyone would have, like, security cameras and stuff like that.
We do. For you guys, okay?
Thank you.
Take care of things.
Take care.
Bye.
He'd already rented an apartment. Bought a car. The future looked bright. But it was all a lie. Every single word. The truth was that Chandler had enrolled at MATC in the spring of 2018. He took a few classes. But by fall 2019, things fell apart. He enrolled in 8 classes. He failed 5 and withdrew from 3. 0 credits earned. In fall 2020, he tried again, 7 classes. He failed 2 and withdrew from 5. By spring 2021, he wasn't enrolled at all. He'd flunked out. And he'd never gone back. For 3 years, Chandler hid this from his parents. Every morning, he'd wake up early and pretend to attend Zoom classes or log into remote work. His father Bart, who was also working from home during the COVID-19 pandemic, would hear Chandler moving around, talking as if in meetings. It seemed perfectly normal. But Chandler was actually in his room playing video games. Hours and hours of gaming. No school. No job. No responsibilities. Just fantasy.
Detectives now go door to door here, While sheriff's personnel here in Dane County are checking for any and all information, the missing couple's son says law enforcement in Langlade County has checked on the family's cabin there, and he says that visit only adds to the mystery.
A little confused. I got 2 squads parked right outside my house, and they're not really canvassing, they're just kind of sitting there. Is everything alright?
Yeah, I mean, they're in the area doing canvassing, and they're also probably doing a shift change right now, getting our second shift crew on around 3:30.
Oh, there's 4 now. Something going on that we need to know?
Well, they're probably doing reports, they're probably doing shift change. You know, they've been going around trying to get a hold of neighbors, so I'm wondering if they're in the area trying to catch people now that they're coming home from work. I'm not sure, I haven't talked to any of them in just a little while.
And when his parents asked questions, why haven't you gotten paid yet? Where's your transcript? When are you graduating? Chandler created elaborate lies to cover his tracks. He invented fake email addresses. Using Gmail accounts registered from the family's home Wi-Fi, Chandler created personas: Alyssa Brandt, Aaron Hoover, Daniel Spieth, fake Madison College administrators. He emailed himself from these accounts, then forwarded the emails to his father, showing supposed conversations about scheduling delays, transcript issues, financial aid problems. He did the same with American Family Insurance. He created a fake HR representative named Tom Selznick. When Bart asked why Chandler wasn't being paid after supposedly working there for a year, Chandler showed him email chains with Tom, explaining payroll errors, direct deposit issues, bureaucratic delays. It was absurdly detailed. Hundreds of fake emails over months. Prosecutors would later call it an amazing web of lies and a comically fake life. But Bart Halderson was an accountant. Detail-oriented. Thorough. And in June 2021, he started getting suspicious. The excuses were piling up. Nothing made sense. Chandler claimed he'd gotten a concussion from falling down the stairs. That's why he couldn't start the SpaceX job yet.
He bullshitted all of it when he was just at home in his room playing games.
Hi, I'm trying to get an appointment scheduled to meet with somebody to mainly just get a copy of the transcript, other degree verification.
Okay, what's your first name?
Chandler's last name is Hald as in David, Erson.
You were taking IT classes, right? I don't see that you were in a program. I don't see that you were admitted in any program.
Do you have an Alyssa Brandt that works in that area or anywhere in the campus?
What is the last name?
Bran. I think it's T or DT.
You said the first name is Alyssa?
Alyssa? Yeah, Alyssa.
No. All the branch. There's no Alyssa.
Okay, that should do it then. Okay.
He was wearing a neck brace in family photos from Father's Day 2021, less than 2 weeks before he'd kill his parents. Bart decided to investigate. On June 30, 2021, he called Madison College himself. He posed as Chandler, trying to get transcripts. The enrollment officer, Omar Job, pulled up the records during the recorded call. "You said the IT degree is in there, right?" Bart asked. "No, those are just classes," Job replied. "You might have just took the classes but not be in the program." Bart's voice on the recording is devastated. "That'll be it then," he said quietly. He'd discovered the truth. His son had never graduated. Had barely attended. The internship, the job, the degree, all lies. What Bart didn't know was that Chandler had already figured out that his father had called the college. Google search records from Chandler's computer showed he'd been monitoring news and information about MATC and his father's inquiries. On July 1, 2021, Bart scheduled a meeting. His calendar showed an appointment at MATC for that afternoon, a meeting with Chandler to confront him at the college he'd been pretending to attend. Around 2 p.m., Bart sent Chandler a text, "I'm ready whenever you are." It was the last message Bart Halderson would ever send. Investigators believe Chandler shot his father twice in the back sometime that afternoon in the basement of the family home. Bart was killed with a 7.62 by 39 mm rifle, a weapon Chandler had borrowed from a friend. Chandler later claimed he'd returned it, but investigators would eventually find it buried on the property where he'd also hidden his father's remains. When Krista came home from work that evening, Chandler killed her too. Her cause of death couldn't be determined because the only parts of her body ever recovered were her legs. Everything else, torso, head, arms, was never found. Investigators believe Chandler may have burned much of her remains. What happened next was methodical, calculated, horrifying. Chandler spent the next several days dismembering his parents' bodies. He used saws, scissors, bolt cutters, tools that would later be found hidden in a rusty oil drum on his girlfriend's family farm. He burned over 200 bone fragments in the family fireplace. A neighbor's security camera captured flickering light from the Halderson home's windows late into the night of July 1st, the fireplace burning.
Got a text from them on Sunday telling me they were going to White Lake.
Okay.
I don't know when the text was sent because of reception issues that they would have, and they usually turn their phone off because of pay for roaming.
Yeah.
They were picked up by their friends, who I never got the name of, and I assumed it was someone I was aware of, like the close neighbors of theirs up the street, or their best friends down on the east side. So that's what I assumed. I never really asked any further into it. And so they got picked up and they all went up there by like another couple.
Picked up here?
Yeah, here at my house.
Okay.
Before I woke up, they had everything packed up.
He scattered the remains across southern Wisconsin. Bart's torso was stuffed in garbage bags, covered with a tarp, that Chandler had purchased days earlier along with 20 pounds of ice, and hidden in a wooded area on the farm in Cottage Grove. Krista's legs were dumped near the Wisconsin River in Sauk City, a spot Chandler often visited for swimming. Other parts were thrown in trash cans, ditches, rivers. Chandler also sent text messages from his parents' phones to make it look like they were still alive. On July 2nd, he texted himself from Krista's phone, "Made it safely, can't get anything through. Going to White Lake today for the parade and will be home Monday night or Tuesday morning." There was no parade in White Lake on July 4th. Chandler had made it up. On July 2nd, Krista didn't show up for work. Her co-worker and close friend, Daniel Croninger, was immediately concerned. Krista never missed work without calling. Never. Dan tried calling and texting her. No response. He went to the Halderson house. Chandler answered the door. "My parents went to the cabin for the 4th of July weekend," Chandler said calmly. Dan thought it was odd but figured maybe they'd decided on a last-minute trip. But when Krista still hadn't shown up by July 6th, Dan grew more worried. He urged Chandler to file a missing persons report.
And our priority is to provide the Halderson family with answers to give them peace and closure throughout this tragic event. We have them in our thoughts and prayers every day. The Dane County Sheriff's Office detectives and investigators will follow every lead provided.
The latest lead uncovered a second site with body parts on DNR land near Sauk City.
We actually obtained a photo of Chandler being in that general area, which is...
The Dane County Sheriff didn't know if those remains were male or female. He's still waiting on the medical examiner's report.
At this moment, we are optimistic that Krista is still alive and well, and we will let the evidence from our investigation tell us otherwise.
Oh my god, you can see me? So I'm not gonna lie, if you hear me burping, I have a very sensitive stomach. Is it true that the back seats are leather just in case people throw up or pee back here? Oh, we're good. Boys are always so monotone, stubborn. Don't want to talk about steel magnolias.
You just call me a suspect.
Oh, we both really like Star Wars.
On July 7, 2021, Chandler walked into the Dane County Sheriff's Northeast Precinct and reported his parents missing. He told detectives his parents had left on July 1st or July 2nd with another couple, friends he didn't know, and drove to the family cabin in Langlade County. He said he'd last heard from them on July 4th. Detectives Sabrina Sims and Brian Shunk were assigned to the case. They interviewed Chandler at the family home. Immediately, things seemed off. Sections of the floor appeared to be missing. A half wall near the door that neighbors remembered was gone. Chandler explained he'd been doing renovations. But when detectives tested various areas of the house, they found blood. And in the basement, they discovered a shell casing consistent with the rifle Chandler had borrowed. Chandler's story had other problems. He said his parents were frugal, didn't gamble, always stayed in touch. But they'd supposedly gone to a casino with strangers and hadn't called in days? Both of their cars were still in the garage. If they'd left with another couple, why were their vehicles home? On July 8th, Mitchell Halderson, Chandler's older brother, drove to the family cabin 3 hours north. Langlade County deputies met him there. They searched the property together. It was immediately clear, no one had been there in a long time. The cabin was dusty, untouched. Bart and Krista hadn't been there. Meanwhile, back in Windsor, a tip came in. A woman who owned a farm in Cottage Grove called police. She'd seen Chandler on her property on July 5th, acting strangely. She'd watched him walk out of the woods near her property line, looking despondent. A few days later, she'd noticed vultures circling that same area. Deputies searched the wooded area. On July 8th, they found human remains. A torso. Mutilated, dismembered.
Spots. Yeah. That's in the red shirt. Yeah. What's in the cup? Just water? One water? Okay. Here's an extra one. What's going on? Alright, so we're just going to talk to you a little bit more, okay? Let's write some skinny chair. Alright, just so you know, I'm gonna record stuff, okay? It just helps me remember everything and picks up everything that we talk about. Alright, so Brian Shunk, Detective Dane County Sheriff's Office, we spoke yesterday. Yeah, Chandler Halderson. Yep. What's your middle initial, Jan? M as in Michael. Michael. And then your birthday? 3/15/1998. Got it. And then your cell phone I already had. We've been talking on that. So obviously we're here. We want to talk a little bit about your parents going missing, right, Krista and Bart? Before we get started, just because you're up here, okay, so I'm just going to read you your constitutional rights. Okay, so this is a Dane County issued card that they give us. So I'll just read them to you right off the card, okay? You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to consult with a lawyer before questioning and to have a lawyer present with you during questioning. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you at public expense before or during any questioning if you so wish. If you decide to answer questions now without a lawyer present, you have the right to stop the questioning and remain silent at any time you wish, and the right to ask for and have a lawyer at any time you wish, including during the questioning. Okay. Do you understand the rights I just read? I do. Okay. Realizing that you have these rights, are you now willing to answer questions or make a statement? Just need a yes. Right? Yeah. Yes. So the second one. Okay. So I'll just read it again. Realizing that you have these rights, are you now willing to answer questions or make a statement?
Oh, I will make a statement.
Okay. So you understand them? You're willing to talk?
Could I have the card so I could read it? I missed some. I'm sorry. I'm still having a little bit of problems. The third one.
All right. I'll read it. We'll just start all over. Yeah. We'll just read it all again. There we go. All right. So you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to consult with a lawyer before questioning and to have a lawyer present with you during questioning. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you at public expense before or during any questioning if you so wish. If you decide to answer questions now without a lawyer present, you have the right to stop the questioning and remain silent at any time you wish, and the right to ask for and have a lawyer at any time you wish, including during the questioning. Okay. So then the only two questions
I asked for. Do you understand?
Yeah, I understand, and I am willing to make a statement.
Okay, perfect. All right. So, like we already said, I talked to you yesterday. So today is July 8th. It's about 5:11 now. We started talking at 5:08. So yesterday, July 7th, I came to your house where you live with your parents, Bart and Krista Helderson. And the reason I was there is you had gone to the Windsor Police Department and reported them missing, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't go to the department. I went to the office break room area
in the same building.
Yeah, I think it's mixed in with the city hall.
Okay. But nonetheless, a deputy came and spoke to you. Okay. So you reported your parents missing. We got some information from you yesterday. We've been following leads last night, working today to, go through different things, just trying to locate them, right? So I guess if you want to start with, let's just go back to last Wednesday.
Wednesday. I was with my dad. What time Wednesday? I remember it. It was kind of a bad day.
Okay. Why was it a bad day?
Well, my mom had work, so she was gone. My dad and I were watching something over lunch. It was The Wheel of Fortune. And we normally have the couch, with our back facing the table we sat at the end of you coming.
Downstairs or upstairs?
Downstairs.
Okay.
Yeah, that room with the TV. I tossed the ball and I smashed the glass.
Okay.
With the dog's help. That set my dad off and we tried to clean it up. Okay. I don't know about him, but I got injured. But he was mad. He didn't really talk to me too much that day. My mom got home at 5, I believe. That's her normal, 5:20 to 5:30.
What time does she work,
7:30 is when she leaves. I don't know her hours, but I know when she leaves. Okay. 7:30. And then all the way up till 5, and she comes home 5:20, 5:30.
Did she come home about 5:20, 5:30 that day?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. So you guys were downstairs, just to touch back on that quick. So the couch. So yesterday when we were down in your basement, the couches were
in a bed. He helped me put them in a bed before. Yeah, on Thursday, but they put it into a bed so I could sleep near the bathroom, and the dogs sleep in that floor. So they'll be a lot better if they're sleeping on that floor.
Downstairs floor?
Yeah.
Just cooler for them or something?
Kind of, yeah.
Probably. Okay. All right, so you were tossing a ball. What type of ball was it?
It was this gross, hairy tennis ball that Rizzo loves.
All right. Just like a green tennis ball, like a normal?
Yeah.
Normal. Okay.
With the squeaker. Not like a tennis racket ball, but
they don't chew those. My dog chews those out of any tennis ball. They just chew the squeakers out and then they don't play with them anymore. All right, so you're just tossing that around, broke the fireplace glass. You said you were injured. What type of injury?
I got a pretty deep hole in my foot. Last night Mary looked at it and she said the reason it keeps bleeding is because there's glass in it.
Oh, so, that's you showed us your toe.
Yeah, I showed the detective leaf.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so that one, it could be infected is what she's thinking, but Neosporin's been helping.
Okay, good. Keeping it clean and stuff. Best you can.
I know how, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Back to Wednesday.
Yeah.
Once I got all the glass out of the dog's hair, she didn't sustain any injuries.
Good.
Nothing even on her nose. She got it with her shoulder bone, I believe. So last dog. That was roughly around 2. And then the rest, he didn't really talk to me. I went back to doing like a job search, kind of just shitting my day away. Just getting games, YouTube maybe. That's when I came across one of the jobs I liked. Then 5 o'clock rolled by and Mom came home. Dinner.
What do you guys have Wednesday night?
I couldn't tell you.
Okay.
Covered with twigs and sticks for concealment. Nearby, they found a tarp, scissors, a saw blade, bolt cutters, all hidden in an old oil drum. Fatty tissue was embedded in the saw blade. Detectives brought Chandler in for questioning. For 2 hours, they pressed him about inconsistencies in his story. Where exactly were his parents? Who were the people they left with? Why hadn't he heard from them? Chandler stuck to his story. Then, when detectives told him they'd found human remains, Chandler asked for a lawyer. The interview ended. On July 8th, Chandler Halderson was arrested for providing false information about a missing person. 2 days later, on July 10th, the remains were positively identified as Bart Halderson. He'd been shot at least twice in the back. Chandler was immediately charged with first-degree murder, mutilating a corpse, and hiding a corpse. But where was Krista? The breakthrough came from an unexpected source, Snapchat. Chandler's girlfriend, Kat Mellender, had been tracking his location using Snapchat's map feature, a function that shows friends' real-time locations. Kat was cooperative with police and gave them full access to her phone data. Screenshots showed that on July 3rd, Chandler had been near the Wisconsin River in Sauk City, a remote area he often visited for swimming. On July 14th, investigators searched that location. In the wooded area along the riverbank, they found more remains. A severed leg. A severed foot. Chunks of decomposed flesh. DNA testing confirmed, Krista Halderson.
Who made it?
I think it was probably just stuff from the fridge. Okay. I think we all did our own thing again.
Sure.
By the way, a detective at my house said something's happened, and while we were leaving, people were going inside. Is there a warrant for my house?
Should there be?
No, I'm just wondering if...
Okay.
Can they go in?
As far as I know, they were at your house and they were going to be there talking to you to ask if you would come up here and talk to us.
But Officer Haley just walked pretty much in to the gate, the gate on the outside. She just kind of walked in. I was wondering.
Was that when you were getting your wallet?
No, we were. I was in the car waiting to leave. I was just wondering if everything's okay because she said something's happened.
Okay.
And we need to go down.
Alright. I'll find out what that's about.
Well, has anything bad happened?
Not sure. Alright, so Wednesday night, Mom comes home. Dad was angry. Was he yelling, or what was? How would you describe Dad being angry?
It was he would yell if you said something to him. I guess if you talk to him, if you give him his space, he'll be okay. So
Wednesday night.
Wednesday, if you just give him his space. That's all we did. Just give him his space. He wouldn't yell or do anything.
Okay.
That's all we had to do. Ma and I went to clean, do some laundry, make our beds, stuff like that.
Who's we?
Ma and I.
Your mom. Okay. And that was Wednesday night.
Yeah, we had an early night. No TV that night.
Gotcha. What time did your parents go to bed Wednesday night, do you think?
I was in bed at 8.
You were?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I couldn't tell you when they went to bed.
Okay. No worries. And you were downstairs, that's where you've been sleeping, you told me last night?
I was in my room Wednesday.
Upstairs, okay. Gotcha, so in the bedroom upstairs, and then you slept downstairs. Why have you been sleeping downstairs again? You told me last
bathroom.
The bathroom's right.
I need to be close because stairs I can't see too well in the dark now. So
gotcha. And just like last night, I'm jotting some notes, but it doesn't mean one thing is more important than the other. It just means that I need to remember stuff. And
I understand it.
Gotcha. All right. So, did you sleep with your door closed that night or open?
Oh yeah, I always have it closed.
Closed door. Yeah, that makes sense.
I have a feeling they argued a little bit after.
Parents did? What were they arguing about?
Probably what set my dad off that day, the glass. Us not having food ready. And stuff like that. We just microwave whatever was in the fridge, I suppose.
Yeah. Who was upset about that?
Dad.
Dad was? Okay.
He usually doesn't like that. He likes when we cook a lot.
Okay. Does he ever cook?
I haven't seen him cook. Oh, he grills. He likes to grill. He grilled on Thursday.
Nice.
I think I told one officer with that green egg. He got, it makes terrible food, but yeah.
Dad does?
Yeah. Oh, the green egg.
The green egg. That's like a grill or something?
Yeah, it's insulated and makes everything smoky.
Oh, okay.
It's Thursday morning. I wake up.
What time are you there?
6.
Okay.
Dogs.
We talked about that yesterday. 6 a.m. is kind of your deal, right? 6 a.m.
Yeah, the internal clock now.
Yeah.
I haven't used the thing in a while. 6. I don't often eat breakfast, so I kind of just stay in my room on my phone. Help my mom out getting ready. In the morning, she left for work at 7:30. I got her whatever she had to do. What was it? It was meaningless tasks, like just daily, like pillowcase changes and sheet changes, stuff like that. In the morning
before work.
Yeah. That's what we always do. Then she's gone. My dad starts the grill around 8:39
in the morning.
To get the temperature right.
Was he working from home that day, or?
Yes.
Okay.
We ate the grill. Nothing really happened between that. We kind of either were outside with the dogs from the lighting of the grill, him going in taking a couple calls now and then, or emails or something. But we just kind of watched the grill and waited to get it set steady at hamburgers for $3.50-ish. Then we just kind of waited
for the burgers.
And then we ate noon 30. Or 12:30, sorry.
Sure.
Then we went inside and had our TV show again, Wheel of Fortune. It's always on around our time for lunch. Or was it Family Feud? The Family Feud was Thursday. Family Feud.
Where did you guys watch that at? Downstairs?
Same.
Okay. Did you guys have a TV upstairs? I don't remember.
No.
Okay.
Not allowed. Sorry, I'm really
trying to look the memory. That's fine. Then, yeah, we went to go do our own things. I went back to a little bit more job searching. This time I branched into Forest instead of just Windsor looking. He went back to work. We planned on something went well. Oh, we were I don't know, something went well for him. So that's all. Then we were hanging out again. My mom texts. I believe I texted her, everything's going well. His phone died, my dad. He didn't believe. He just kind of like charged it, put it on the dock, and left it. Then we just kind of hung out, and my mom gets home, and I start shrimp scampi for my dad, because that's what he wanted, but we didn't have shrimp, so I made shrimpless scampi. That's where they told me while we were eating it, they were going to go with their friends, and I was like, oh, cool. And they said they were going cabin. Yeah. Well, we were going up north. That's how they referred to it. Who said that? Mom or dad? Ma. My dad doesn't talk while he eats. Okay. So there we are at Thursday dinner, up north of the cabin. My dad says, I'll need a set for pipe repair and gas. So I'm like, all right. I grabbed the pipe repair stuff from his plumbing chest, their plumbing box. It's like a tote of what you need for pipe repair. And 2 whatever jerry cans. I can't remember the amount, but they're red with the safety nozzles. Got those squared away. They had most of their duffels already packed at that point. And we all just started bringing them down to the mudroom with the shoes by the garage. Where you showed me him. After that, we watched is a Netflix original, 7 Underground, with a thrill-seeking, it's like they fake their deaths and they fly airplanes and they had to fight at the evil of the world by being ghosts. Pretty cool. I don't think I've seen that one yet. Who was watching that? The 3 of us. All 3 of you? Okay. All 3. And that put it at 9. They had their drinks. Went to my computer. My computer was at that black table we sat at. Sure. We saw the stuff.
Now Chandler was charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. As investigators dug deeper, the full scope of Chandler's lies came to light. They discovered he'd created dozens of fake email accounts from the family's home Wi-Fi, using his own birthday as the registration date. SpaceX had no record of him ever applying for a job. American Family Insurance had never employed anyone named Tom Selznick. Madison College had no employees named Alyssa Brandt, Aaron Hoover, or Daniel Spieth. Chandler had even used a burner phone to pose as a college advisor during a call with his father. Chandler's trial began on January 4, 2022. He faced 8 charges. 2 counts of first-degree intentional homicide, 2 counts of mutilating a corpse, 2 counts of hiding a corpse, and 2 counts of providing false information about missing persons. Prosecutor William Brown laid out the case in his opening statement. Chandler Halderson spun an amazing web of lies, he told the jury. The best way out of your pretend job is an even more pretend job. The evidence was overwhelming. Forensic experts testified that over 200 human bone fragments were found in the Halderson fireplace. Chandler's fingerprint was found on a piece of tape attached to the tarp that had covered Bart's remains. Cell phone records placed Chandler at every location where remains were found. Receipts showed he'd purchased tarps, ice, and cleaning supplies just before and after the murders. Witnesses testified about Chandler's lies.
Played a video game called Tarkov until midnight. Well, after midnight, maybe even. I lose track of time. And my parents by then were asleep. We got their teeth brushed and everything. Then I got upstairs. Oh, that was Thursday. Yeah, so I did. So we got the bed all set before we played Tarkov. And that's when I crawled into bed from the black table. So after our movie, we set up my couch bed and the pillows for the girls.
Who helped you set the bed up?
My dad. Yeah, okay. Yes. He knew he was leaving and I would need that. Friday morning, I woke up. They had left with the stuff. It was all set out. They remembered the gas. I found the folding chairs that they wanted to bring, but they never brought them. I'm assuming they couldn't fit them. They're big. So I put those away. That was Friday morning. I go upstairs, feed the dogs. It was around 6-ish, now 6:15 when I woke up. I was a little late that day.
6:15 Friday. Okay.
That's just when I looked at my phone. Dogs saw my ma's note, the insurance for my appointment. I just ate whatever's on the counter. I think it was cornbread.
Where was the note from your mom?
That was on the kitchen, like there's a peninsula.
Yeah.
With the insurance stacked up. But I moved it to the table.
Okay. And then those insurance cards were there also that we saw yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think she knew which one I would need, but I have 3 now. Friday.
Yep.
No, I hung out with Kat Friday night, I believe.
What'd you do Friday during the day?
Oh yeah, let's work backwards. I kind of took the day away. I played video games.
Okay. Parents are gone, why not, right?
Yeah, I didn't do anything that I should have. I should have been cleaning and all of that.
Well, the house seemed pretty clean when I was there.
You see all the dog hair? That's got to be gone.
It comes along with it, right?
Yeah.
Alright, so Friday during the day, just played video games, kind of.
Yeah, then after work, I believe that was the day Kat came over.
After whose work?
Kat, she is 5.
After her work.
5 is her work when she was off. I believe she came over.
So she was done around 5.
Does the Kat came at 5, you said?
I don't think she went straight here after. I believe she came over. It could have been later, like 6, maybe give her time for like getting clothes.
She was after work, you say? Where does she work at?
She works downtown Middleton as a farm tech.
Okay.
She, I believe she stayed with me on that couch that night.
So she spent the night over?
Yeah.
You guys both slept on the couch downstairs?
Yeah.
What'd you do before you went to bed?
That was Friday night. That might have been my own night. I might be wrong. I'm wrong. Okay. I think I spent that night alone. I just kind of gamed online with some of my friends. I said Saturday night. I'm so sorry, guys.
No worries, man.
So, one night, I gamed alone all night. One night, Kat spent the night on the couch. Oh, and Sunday, she spent the night in my bed with me. She helped me out stairs. Sunday night, I know that because she didn't want to spend another night on the couch bed. She didn't like it. And she went to work on Monday morning. So that was my bed night. We, backtracking, one night she spent on the couch with me, with like the couch bed we've made. But one night I gamed all night, or all day and night pretty much. And I'm pretty sure that was Friday night. And let's go with Saturday was my night alone.
Okay.
My night alone.
Okay. So Friday, we believe she came over.
Yes.
And then Saturday was the game night.
Yes. So backtracking to Friday, when she came by, we actually we just there's this movie or a TV series on Netflix. We watched pretty much the entirety of that into the morning. It was apocalypse show. I don't know the name.
What time do you guys think you went to bed?
I say we stayed up well until 10, I would say.
PM?
Yeah. Okay. You gotta be at least the morning. Saturday we didn't do much. She left. This is when I'm really starting to notice my legs. Okay. I'm kind of having the anxiety and all of that, and like getting a little frustrated with myself and all of that. Like it wasn't too bad until like last week Tuesday when I started noticing it, and Saturday was like the peak. It's kind of stayed out like this.
Okay. Peak anxiety, and
this kind of like set me like to ask for some space, and I just kind of gamed Saturday. Couldn't tell you when I went to bed. I think I might have even stayed up till 2. Yeah, it's just the same game. Escape from Tarkov. I couldn't get a hold of any of my friends to play with, unfortunately. I played like some here and there from Discord, but none would like stick around for that late in the night.
Sure.
Then we get to Sunday. It's the 4th. In the morning, I'm a little worried about my family. I think I called my mom. Oh, throughout I've called, I don't know the times though. Throughout the weekend, I mean. But I called my mom, I believe, in the morning or along those lines, and I get a text from her. It was a text message, it wasn't even an iMessage, so I assumed
She said White Lake today. So she sent it that day. I couldn't figure out where she was because it was a text. There was no iMessage, so I kind of just like left it at that. They're safe. They're alive. Then get to the afternoon. I'm talking to Dan. I call him up and I ask him, well, what he's doing. Or maybe that was the morning, but I called Dan that Sunday, asked him what he's up to, if he wanted to hang out. I don't like being alone at the house very long.
Dan is mom's coworker / friend?
Yeah, he's this guy. Go over there he invited me for fireworks in his driveway.
He said, or you said yesterday he lived in DeForest or Windsor, one of the
Yeah, close.
Okay.
I could point it at a map.
One or the other, I think it is.
So throughout the day, the dogs, it's just me and the dogs, the fireworks, and the dogs are like running around and into things. I'm trying to keep them okay. All they're doing is knocking stuff over. Spilled their water. They haven't eaten. They won't go outside for me. Even on a leash, I couldn't get them out.
What was the deal with that?
Fireworks.
Oh, the fireworks are spooking them so much.
Yeah, all day. So I put them both into the fort, cranked the TV.
Did that seem to help at all with them?
Yeah, the loud TV helped. Rizzo doesn't like, or maybe does like New Girl, the TV show, so we watched that. It's the theme song that gets her, I think. She barks. So we watched that. Izzy fell asleep, so Izzy's the old dog. The old one. So it's Sunday. Or it's Sunday evening. Kat comes by to help me with the girls.
So she wasn't there during the day?
No, it was just me and the dogs. She left Sunday morning.
Okay.
From No, she left Saturday morning because I spent Saturday by myself.
I see that.
And then Sunday, it was just me and the girls till whenever Kat got there. We didn't eat together, I don't think. No, this is Sunday. So I went to Kat's house.
On Sunday?
So that was Sunday morning is when I left the girls. So all of Sunday morning, I had the girls in the fort. We watched New Girl. I went to Kat's house Sunday to eat, but we ended up not eating there. We went to Cress's house. It's Cottage Grove or Cascade? No, Cedarburg. It's a sea town area.
Okay. So where is it? Near?
I've never.
Cress. What was that?
Cress.
Oh, Cress.
Cress.
So Cress is.
You've seen her in my phone?
Yeah. I saw the calls to her. That's your.
Helps me out with everything.
Kat's
mom's girlfriend.
Okay.
I try to talk to her as much because she's like, I don't know, wise, and she really helps me with what's going on with me. Because I've been in a slump, I'd say.
Okay.
But
The enrollment officer from Madison College, Omar Job, played the heartbreaking recorded phone call with Bart discovering his son had never graduated. Chandler's friend Alex Gravatt testified that he'd had no idea Chandler had flunked out. It was surprising, Alex said. Kat Mellender testified that even after Chandler was arrested, she couldn't believe he was capable of murder. He had SpaceX, she told detectives in a recorded interview played for the jury. Why would he jeopardize something he would dream of? They're his parents. For Christmas they got him a tool set. He cooks dinner for them. They play Mario Kart together. The defense argued that prosecutors hadn't proven their case. They claimed no one really knew what happened inside the Halderson home or exactly how Bart and Krista were killed. Without witnesses, without a clear timeline, how could the jury be certain? But the jury wasn't swayed. On January 20, 2022, after deliberating for just a couple of hours, they returned guilty verdicts on all 8 counts. Chandler showed no emotion. On March 17, 2022, Judge John Hyland sentenced Chandler Halderson to life in prison without the possibility of parole. 2 life sentences, plus additional time for the other charges, all to run consecutively. I don't think there's been a more horrific set of crimes in Dane County, Judge Hyland said. Bart and Krista's family members gave victim impact statements. Krista's cousin, Barbie Townsend, wept as she described the vibrant, nurturing woman who poured her heart into her sons. The delusional reality that he concocted, that is shocking to me, she said. Mitchell Halderson, Chandler's brother, didn't attend the trial. He released a statement saying he was devastated, that he'd lost his entire family in one horrific act. In April 2023, 2 of Chandler's convictions for hiding his parents' remains were overturned due to a technical legal issue. But his life sentences remained intact. He's currently incarcerated at Dodge Correctional Institution in Waupun, Wisconsin. He's appealing, but no developments have occurred. The question everyone asks is, why? Why did Chandler create such an elaborate fantasy? And why, when caught, did he respond with such brutal violence? Psychologists who've studied the case suggest Chandler may have suffered from pathological lying disorder or narcissistic personality disorder. He created an idealized version of himself, successful, accomplished, heading to SpaceX, because his real life felt inadequate. And when that fantasy was threatened, when Bart discovered the truth and scheduled that confrontation at Madison College, Chandler couldn't face the consequences. He couldn't admit failure. Couldn't handle the shame, the disappointment. So he eliminated the problem. Literally. Prosecutor Brown said it best, when Bart figured it out, Chandler realized he could lose everything. But what did he lose, really? He had no job, no degree, no SpaceX offer. What he stood to lose was the fantasy itself. The image he'd created. The lie he'd been living. And rather than face reality, he chose murder. ABC's 2020 aired a special episode about the case in May 2025, titled Road Map to Murder. The episode featured exclusive interviews with detectives, Krista's family, and Madison College staff. It examined how Snapchat's location tracking feature helped crack the case, a reminder of how technology that seems innocuous can become crucial evidence. The case has resonated with people across America. It's a story about the dangers of living a lie. About how social media and technology allow us to curate perfect-looking lives while hiding dark truths. About how pressure to succeed can drive people to desperate measures. But mostly, it's a reminder that Bart and Krista Halderson were real people. A loving couple who worked hard, raised 2 sons, and by all accounts were good, kind people. They didn't deserve what happened to them. They deserved to grow old together. To see Mitchell get married. To meet grandchildren. To enjoy retirement. Instead, they were murdered by their own son. Dismembered. Scattered across Wisconsin like garbage. Chandler Halderson is 26 years old now. He'll spend the rest of his life in prison. No SpaceX. No Florida apartment. No future. Just a concrete cell and the knowledge of what he did. And Bart and Krista Halderson are gone. 2 lives ended because their son couldn't tell the truth.
So went to Kat's house Sunday to eat. What time do you think you went over there?
Food at 3:30. That's what they said.
So about 3:30 you went over to Kat's?
Oh, I was at Kat's well before. I was out there noon. Okay. Noon, let's say.
Noon. Where does Kat live?
The east side?
East side Madison?
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, I'm sure I could look it up, but do you know the road at all or anything?
Trafalgar? or Andrew Lane, Taffliger.
Okay. I'll look it up. That's fine. So you met her Sunday about noon. What'd you guys do at her place?
Well, she realized my legs, I wouldn't be able to do stuff with them. So her brother, and her brother's date went to a thrift store while she had me sleep. She just put me to bed and they went. And then they get home around 2:30. Kat and I rush back to my house, let the girls out, and we go back straight to the farm.
Okay, were you at the farm before you went to let the dogs out, or?
No, we were at Kat's. It's like a duplex.
So Kat's house Sunday around noon. You went to sleep with Kat, her sister,
her brother,
Kat's brother,
and his date.
Okay, sorry about that. Went to a thrift store.
Then we went to Cress's and we ate. After that, James left after dinner, leaving his date with us, and we took a swim. After the swim, we left, went to Kat's house to drop off his date. The date stayed at Kat's house. I think the date is a Rose, maybe, is what her name was.
Rose? Had you ever met her before?
No, this was a Tinder match from her brother, Kat's brother.
Okay. What time do you suppose you guys went to Cress's house? So got to Kat's around noon.
2:30 they got back. Okay. Kat and I went to my house to let the dogs out, then we left. I think we got gas. And then we went to Cress's. So I would say it was maybe 4 when we got there. We were late for dinner. But it was good because they were still setting up.
Where'd you guys get gas at? Do you remember that?
One of the quick trips in town. I can't remember. I'm sorry.
When you say in town, are we talking DeForest, Sun Prairie?
DeForest, it had to be.
Okay.
I think we got, I'm still not super sure, but I know we were doing something on the way, or we didn't do something. I thought we were going to do a return, but I'm jumbling it right now, so just have that. We went to my house and back to Cress's. We were late.
Okay.
For dinner.
What were you guys driving? Were you in your
Kat's red Subaru?
Okay. Was she driving or you?
She drives that. Kat's her car.
Red Subaru, you said?
Yeah. It's at my house right now.
Oh, okay. And you rode with her?
Yes.
Where'd you guys go for a swim?
There's like a little pool up at the Cress's house.
Oh,
she's been helping me with my walking and everything, and they get me there.
Okay. Is it indoor or outdoor?
Outdoor.
It must have been nice with how hot it has been.
Yeah, they got something fancy to heat it from the sun.
Okay.
But that was the 3 of us.
Yeah.
Then we went back to around 6, no, later, maybe 7. We went back to Kat's apartment, dropped off Rose, got Kat's dirty or wet clothes. She had wet clothes because she was going to dry them. And we went to my house together.
So Rose got dropped off at Kat's?
Yeah, the duplex in the east side.
Okay. Was James with you guys at that point, or?
No, James left after dinner around 4:30.
Okay.
Gotta keep day
Was he not getting along with Rose, or?
No, he had work.
Oh, okay. That sucks. Working on the 4th of July.
Something.
So did Rose get dropped off at Cat's duplex then?
Yes. We'll refer to Cat's house as a duplex.
Yep.
Cress is the farm. You grow berries.
Yep.
My house is my house. That's how we'll refer.
Gotcha.
Where are we?
Sunday night about 7.
Sunday night about 7. We get Rose dropped off. We get to my house. And we go to my house in DeForest, Windsor. We feed the girls. We put her clothes that she brought, the wet stuff, in the dryer because that's what she needed to do. We get her clothes dry. It's after we get back, actually. And then we go to dance.
Okay.
For the fireworks. That he asked us to come by 8:30. For some reason, I was trying to leave, but I was making a joke about it, that we're going to be late, like stuff like that, the goofy crap. I drove to dance.
Okay. Which car were you guys in?
My dad's Subaru. It's a blue.
The one in the garage.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one in the garage.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Then we get there, we stay for 45 to an hour. That's how I got the bottle rocket marks.
Show me those again.
The sparks.
That's right, you said
and I think this was a wad or something that flew back.
Shot back out of it.
Yeah, that one stuck in for a little bit. That's why it's so bad, but these are sparks.
Okay. Those are at dance house you got those?
Dance.
The dance.
I didn't know the stick. You don't hold the stick. The stick flies with it.
Oh, sure.
I didn't know.
So you're over at Dan's house, about 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah, get my hands a little bit. We find a firework that it spins and takes off, and it went straight to the bush. So we were like, no more of that. We're done.
Did it light the bush on fire?
No, thankfully it wasn't hot enough for that.
Good.
After that, we cleaned. I gave him a bottle of wine as a thank you for letting us come. But thankfully, I still have a couple bottles at home. While we're there, Dan had a few beers. His girlfriend was there, or fiance, or wife. I'm not sure their relationship, but she was there.
Her name?
I never got her name. Just Dan's girlfriend. She's got purple hair. She's IT at MATC. Like, the school's own IT.
Okay. Anybody else there?
Just the two of us, and then the neighbors watched. One to our left and one across the street. One group. The one across the street had some cooler stuff than I've ever seen a person be able to own with firework-wise. But there we are. And then someone in the distance, kind of closer to our house, launched a mortar artillery firework. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, okay, we have to go home for the dogs. So we went. And that was pushing 9:30, 9:45. We got home. We got into the couch for it. And put on Daybreak was the apocalypse show. Daybreak. Put on that because we were trying to finish it.
On Netflix?
Yes. This is Kat and I still.
Yep.
She was spending the night. The whole time, dogs are pushing me, nosing me, and everything. And so we kind of stop and stop watching, and she goes to bed. I'm trying to let the dogs out, or at least go back in a little bit, but the fireworks, they couldn't. We get to bed upstairs in my room because she doesn't like the couch, and she had work in the morning.
Yeah.
And I'd say that's 10-ish, 10:30, and then the whole time the younger dog keeps jumping on us. So I leave Cat in the bed, and I go sit out down in the couches and chairs down by the real dinner table. I go sit there and just hang out with the dogs so Cat can get asleep.
Where we first started talking last night?
Yes.
Like the main kitchen, door. Dining room, and the couches? Okay, got it.
I sit down there so Cat can get some sleep, because I don't work tomorrow. She does. Then I put the ladder in front of those steps so the girls can't come out. They pee on the kitchen, the tiles, so I clean that, and like, well, at least they went before bed, you know. It wasn't the worst thing. They're not going to go outside.
Yeah.
Then I go to bed. Then it's Monday morning. Cat goes to work 7:50-ish, or maybe earlier. Then I'm left to myself, so we put on New Girl on the couch for it on Monday morning. I go back and forth through some video games, and then back. Video games. Back, and then
Those don't like to stand up very good.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying to stretch a little bit while I'm sitting. It hurts. So New Girl, video games. This is Monday. We're getting later. I have a little bit to eat for lunch. Well, at the end of the day on Monday, I did go for the afternoon. I did go to the farm to talk to Cress and Kat's mom. I told them what's happening with my health because I had the appointment at 2.
Did you go to the farm before or after?
After, because I told them what happened to me. And I told them the legs are probably going to be permanent and the headaches should be fixed after the hemorrhage is cleared a little bit. So, now that I'm there, I talked to their mom, and Cress together. And I think Kat's mom is alright with me. I don't know if she wants me to move into the east side Kat's house and start paying rent as an apartment because she doesn't like to live at home.
Does Kat live with their mom or?
Kat has an apartment. Okay. Somewhere.
Kat does?
Yeah, it's by Mifflin. Okay. The Party Avenue. It's by there. So I'm there talking to their mom and Chris. Then I go up to have, breakdown by the shed, and they go swimming. Right by the swimming pool is the shed, so they wanted to watch me, break down and all that. So after I noticed they're just watching, I just walk over to them.
Describe your breakdown to me.
I actually cried. Started kicking grass, just doing the toddler tantrum shit. Then I
hopped in the water with them. So it was too late. I was in the water. I realized Crest didn't have a top, and that was uncomfortable. But I talked to them more, and that's when she brought up the housing situation, how she doesn't like how my parents are. I guess I don't know. She doesn't know them that well. She's never met them.
Okay. Crest was saying that?
The Kat's mom. Kat's mom is speaks his her first thought right away. Yeah. So they're offering me to get a job, live with them, work for them while I'm working, and pay rent. And that's kind of their deal. I would have like a month free of rent, or a month or two maybe if they're thinking. I could be able to borrow a car from Crest maybe if she's nice. They're not using it, I'd be able to go to work.
Did she have a lot of cars or something? No? Okay. Just an extra one probably.
She stays at the farm. Okay. So if she didn't need it, I could use it to go to a job or at least interviews. Yeah. I was hoping for a job, near where I live so I could bike. That would keep me, these going. I don't think they can get worse, but I could keep doing it, you know. Where are we?
Sunday. So you were swimming, having a breakdown. What were you having a breakdown about?
You ever have your legs kind of... Yeah.
No, I haven't.
It's just... I don't even know if they're done getting as bad as they can be yet, so that's not fun.
And I think you were telling me last night it's a symptom of a concussion, right?
So
is that right?
That's not it. It's a symptom of nerve damage from the hit to my spine, so it's permanent.
Okay, I understand that now better.
Yeah. So it's just legs. I think it's waist feeling is probably colostomy bag down the road and all of that. But here we are Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay, we're sitting in the pool, we're hanging out. They're just talking to me. Sometimes they're being nice, sometimes they're making the offer, hey, if you move in, you can pay rent. This is a good neighborhood. It's a cul-de-sac. There's parking. So, yeah, on the east side, just off of Milwaukee Street, that's Andrew. You take the left turn onto Andrew, down Milwaukee.
Yep.
So that's it. So it's a good neighborhood, kind of like the one by my parents. If I live there, I at least be on doing my own thing. And then they're like, well, appreciate you stopping by. So I head out and I go. It was Monday afternoon. I go to dinner at Kat's house on the east side.
Okay. What time do you think that was?
It had to be 7:30. I left the farm, which is Cress's.
7:30 p.m.
Cress's is the farm. Okay. So we're at Kat's. And then she's planning on feeding me. This is Monday, correct?
Yeah.
That's after the farm swim with Cress. I think we just eat and cuddle a little bit.
Okay.
When I go home, there's the girls. Let them out and go to bed because I kind of had a day.
Yeah. What time do you think you left her place?
I'd say 9.
Getting left about 9. Okay. She didn't come with you?
No, I was alone that night.
Okay.
Don't really want to drag her away.
I think she stayed at her apartment or her house that night, not apartment.
Okay.
So there we are. Tuesday morning. It was just. I can't remember Tuesday. Dan wakes me up, I believe, with something, or not wakes me up. I did the 6 again with the dogs and the food, but I got back in bed. I don't know if I passed out or zoned out a little bit, but Dan is worried about my mom on Tuesday, I think.
Did you call?
I said no word. My mom. I don't know if he called or texted. I think he just contacted. That's what I can think of.
Reached out.
Yeah, he reached out. Then I'm like, oh, it's Tuesday morning. They should be here. No worry. I think I called my mom that day.
All right.
And then
you talked to her?
No, she never picked up. It's always the voicemail and said voicemail. You know when you? Yeah. So it's off, out of range. I don't know the other factors that could give you that.
It's like a voicemail right away. Goes straight to voicemail, right?
Yeah. Okay. So whatever factors can give you that.
So I might have missed it. So from the time they left, did you talk to them at all when they were?
I got a
up
text.
North? You got the one text,
and
that you mentioned earlier.
Don't even like it.
Right.
Yeah.
But that was it. Nothing else.
Yeah. So that's fishy to me. Even the text, because I realized Memorial Day is when the White Lake Parade is.
Oh, sure.
There's no 4th of July. Maybe there's cheap drinks, but there's no parade at White Lake on the 4th. So, well, maybe there is now. I realize I've always gone on Memorial because that's the weekend I get time off from school and all of that. You don't get time off for the 4th.
So basically, from the time that they're gone at the cabin in your home, running around doing what you're doing, you just had one communication with mom.
Yeah, that's kind of how I just assumed the amount of people, where they're at, and whether they're all.
Well, I understand. I'm just making sure it wasn't more than one.
Her not contacting, but this was the only text.
Was there anything with Dad?
No, I wouldn't even bother talking to him. He wouldn't use his phone while he's up there. He loves it.
Oh,
but
does he keep his phone on him when he's up there?
It's usually in the car.
Oh, okay.
My brother and I just text all the time while we're up there. We even set up wire antennas sometimes to make better connection.
Sure.
Okay. So here we are. Where?
Tuesday. Called mom. Voicemail immediately.
Tuesday-ish. Where?
Dan called, worried about mom not coming to work. You had already fed the dogs and that before Dan called you, or reached out to you.
So Tuesday, I'm doing this crap. I got a coffee at a Quick Trip one day. Well, I think that could have been Tuesday morning. At Quick Trip, I got a coffee, and I used my dad's number at a Quick Trip to get me the free one because it was the Group of Gold. I could have afforded it, but there's a free one. And it's Tuesday, or it wasn't Monday. I could have gotten $1 one, but it was full price, I believe, and I grabbed the coffee because it was a free one. He hasn't used it for weeks, so I grabbed that. Did a Quick Trip. I couldn't tell you which one. I was just driving at that point.
When you use it's a rewards card is what they call it, right?
Yeah.
You just enter his phone number or something.
You type it.
Okay.
But I got a coffee. Had to be, I'm assuming, Tuesday. And I got a free one.
Sweet.
It was terrible.
Oh, it was?
I wanted to try Karuba Gold.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. Then we're at Tuesday. Cat's working up, and I'm gaming, job hunt. And then I started trying to get the glass. I've been a little lazy on the glass. I just kind of had chairs in front of it. I broom and, a little sweeper holder, you broom it into that.
Dustpan.
Yeah. Tossing the glass into recycling. I get most of it. There's a bunch in the cracks of the stone that I'm picking out by hand. I think I didn't injure myself from that, but my blood was kind of on the floor, so I got the Swiffer I borrowed from Kat, from the foot. I borrowed a Swiffer to mop. I Swiffered the floor, like not the stone, but the floor. And then I got a little bit in the kitchen, and then everywhere kind of I walked, pretty much. The bathroom, the kitchen, and then I couldn't get the carpet, so I still stained that up real crappy.
Where was their carpet at?
The stairs between basement and kitchen.
Carpet. Oh, that's right.
Carpet stairs. I tried. I can't get it out. I don't know how to do that, but then all the way up to the laundry room where I found my first aid kit. And I just tried to stop all the bleeding, but it wouldn't stop. So.
And that blood was all coming from your left foot.
Yeah, left foot hole.
Left foot hole. Yeah. I mean, are we talking massive amounts of blood, or are we talking, a little bit, like describe?
It started as drops until I got to the bathroom. And then I got back to go grab my sock and some of the paper towel. And then I see the glasses in there, so I grab a tweezers and I pull it out, and then it starts squirting out. I got some on a little bit of the rock. It wasn't that bad of the rock, but I think the worst was that floor. That it kind of like this lid puddles.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't good.
Are we talking the floor down in the basement?
Well, that one, and then I go upstairs to the kitchen, and it's still going, and I'm trying to get my foot in the sink just to slow it down and pinch it maybe. And then I waddle upstairs to the IFAC, or the first aid kit. And once I got it kind of bundled up, it stopped for what I know. Then I need to get some tape. We have a tape box in the basement. I go there and I opened it up again. I bled a little bit more, but the basement was easy to clean. It's just cement. Just a little bit of water, and I rigged that up. But I grabbed the tape box and I wrapped it. After that's Tuesday.
Yep.
That's Tuesday. Wings. I go to Cats.
Oh, okay.
We had wings.
What time?
That could have been. I've been doing the BS of first aid and all that. I go to Kat's house with her mom and her brother. That could have been 5 or 6. I couldn't give you the exact.
Did you guys pick up the wings and go there, or?
No, I drove to Kat's. Okay. Straight there.
What'd you drive?
The Subaru.
Car choice.
I just with the Volvo seat, it You know, I can't do it with my foot.
So we're talking about wings. Did you guys go pick up wings? Or?
Yeah, so we get there, and we're calling around, seeing what's up. James is getting home with Jimmy John's. And we're like, oh, you don't eat all of it. He's like, well, I'm hungry now. I'm doing all that post-gym crab thing. So he grabs, eats half of his sandwich, and then we go, Kat and I, the two of us, in my car, we go to Buffalo Wild Wings.
Do you remember which one?
I couldn't tell you.
Okay.
I don't. It had to be east, right? That's close to It's by a mall. It's by a mall. There's a mall. We go in, we get the wings, we go out. We go to Kat's, we eat. We watched this movie, Pretty in Pink or something. It's about a girl that likes fashion and goes to Harvard.
Is it on Netflix or is it on the TV?
They have like everything there. I didn't know.
Alright, so you ate the wings at Kat's, watch Pretty in Pink.
Yeah, it was a mom's choice. But all the four of us we all ate.
Okay.
And then went upstairs and laid down in her bed for a few minutes.
Just letting the food settle or hanging out?
Noticed she's kind of fallen asleep. So I'm like, okay, I'm ready to get out of here. And I go home, get the girls all ready for bed, going outside, get them water.
What time do you think you made it home?
Say 9. At the latest. So girls, water, well, not really food, they ate before, but water, and played, like, indoor playtime in the bathroom.
Sure.
So.
You guys would have, so you were home alone then?
Well, I've been home alone this whole weekend, really, except when Kat comes.
Yeah.
So Kat didn't come that night. So now we're pushing Wednesday, aren't we?
What time do you think you went to bed on Tuesday night?
Probably pretty dang close to when I got home, 10 at the latest. Kind of been tired lately.
Sure.
Then in the morning on Sunday? Or no, wait, where are we?
Wednesday already.
Wednesday, okay, so Wednesday. I try to go to the farm. I keep spamming Cress. I kind of need someone to talk to because I'm freaking out about my parents. Jane's calling me. I give her the address to go to the farm, or to the cabin. Jane Hilgendorf. Never picked up from Cress, so I go home.
Did you drive over to the farm, or?
Yeah.
Because she wasn't answering her phone, right?
No, I got close, but then I realized I can't just show up. They'd shoot me. They don't know when I drive, or what I look like with a hat on.
They got guns over there, or would they actually shoot you?
No, I'm just saying. Her dad lives there. He's 90. He got a buck when he was 95 or something. So I know if he didn't know who I was, he could have.
Yeah.
So he's old. But he can use a gun. That's why I wouldn't do that.
Yeah. So Cress's dad lives there too.
Yeah.
Is it Cress's farm or dad's?
It's her dad's. He built it.
Oh, okay. And then
She lives there. She's managing the property because he's in the chair.
Yeah, he's old.
So then, it's not really a farm. It's a farm hobby farm.
Yeah, okay, I gotcha.
They
I
just
haven't never been there.
let wildflowers grow for the bees. That's pretty much it. And their own berries. But it's then here we are. I turn around and then Jane calls. I get a picture of the property at the cabin. And I see that. So I'm looking at the cabin. And it doesn't look right. There's a birch tree in front. And I didn't like the look of it because that didn't just sit right with me a little bit. But it looked like tracks were pushed down into the grass a little bit. I don't know, from the picture. And Mike said there was like light tracks, like someone was there.
Where was the birch tree at?
It looked like it was in the middle of the drive. And sometimes we do that. We find a fallen log and we put it like a double door entrance. Mm-hmm. So you go in from the gate, you park, you move the next, and then you drive it.
Yeah, sure.
So that's like the only security we can get up there. We have done that before. The grass is overgrown, but that's from the storm and the fallen trees. Mm-hmm. You can't mow there because the flowers.
So with the birch tree, I mean, if you guys typically put stuff down like security, why did it look weird to you this time?
I've never seen that log. We have this log that's close to the shed. It's, I would say, closer to petrified than rotten. It's hard, like really hard.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of tree, but that's what my dad and I use when we go.
So you typically use the same tree. This one just seemed out of place too.
Yeah, that's not the tree we use.
Gotcha.
Where are we?
Wednesday morning, Jane sends you a picture of the cabin. You see the birch tree and it looked
right to you. Then I go to the police station because I ask her, when should I make a thing? I'm sorry.
No worries, man.
What?
Wednesday morning, you said you went to the police department.
Yeah, to make a. Talk to him about my parents. And then I met with 3 sheriffs that came.
3, you said?
3. There was a Seeley. He's bearded. The guy that drove me here. I'm not sure the name. And then Collins. She was also doing canvassing.
Mm-hmm.
So canvassing. So here we are, throws 3. I get the questions answered. Then we go to my house. And then there's 3 more, the same 3 sheriffs.
So they talked to you at the police station or wherever you guys...
Yeah, I get information and stuff like that.
And then they came to your house?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's probably about, then I came a couple hours later.
They were there questioning. You're here now questioning. Mm-hmm. And then that night, what night are we on? What night are we on? Wednesday night. I go to Dan and Mary's.
Wednesday night. What time do you think?
They feed me, I had probably 7:30.
And you said you went to
Dan and Mary Sesto and Dan Somethingovich.
So Mary Sesto's house.
Mary Sesto's house. It's on the same road.
As your house?
Yeah. Okay. It just up the curves.
For dinner you went there?
Yeah, well, they just fed me. They didn't eat.
Okay.
They just wanted to brainstorm.
Any good ideas come out of it?
No.
So you said
We only could think of Dan, and Dan's been here.
Yeah. So you said you went to the police department to talk about your parents. Just tell me, what exactly did you talk about your parents with the deputies about?
Oh, we're making a report. That I thought I had to do that at a station.
Okay. And you were reporting, like, what were you reporting exactly? I just want to write down and have it on there.
They're missing this.
Okay. They're missing this. Okay. Gotcha. Then, as far as you know, I mean, were you able to tell? We've gone into a lot of detail last night and tonight, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that you gave them as much information as you've given me, or do you think that
you've asked way more questions? You even asked about my injuries, the bleeding, and the fireplace.
Yeah.
The sheriffs kind of gave what they need to make reports, and you've just asked about like home life,
everything, right? Okay.
So you got more in depth.
Yeah,
I think. Wednesday, here we are, and throughout the weekend I've been calling.
Okay. All right. I'm just kind of look at some things here. So we started Wednesday. Mom had work. You and your dad watched Wheel of Fortune. I'm just going to kind of read stuff back through a little bit. Okay. And we kind of ended it last night because I've been talking to you since then, so I don't think there's much else that I need you to tell me from last night. So watching Wheel of Fortune, you were on the couch, table downstairs, couch with the back to the table downstairs, and tossing the ball around for the dog and broke the glass fireplace. Your foot gets hurt, Dad gets mad. Right?
Yeah.
Mom left for work in the morning, comes home later on. Dog was fine, not injured at all. Was it the dog or the ball that crashed into the glass?
Both. The ball bounced it, but the dog hit it with the shoulder. Okay. That's how it broke. The ball wouldn't have done it.
Yeah, probably not. Okay. All right. Playing games, watching YouTube, job search. I'm just gonna, instead of reading out loud, just make sure I don't have any questions. You guys typically make your beds every day? Looked like they were made yesterday when I was there.
Yes.
Okay.
We usually do sheets every few days in beds.
Change the sheets every day?
Every few.
Yeah.
They get changed.
I was gonna say, that's good.
In the pillowcases. Or the dog hair, it's kind of hard to sleep.
Yeah, they probably do have some pretty long hair.
The heat they shed. But.
Yeah, I know. That's fine. I get it. I got a dog. He sheds too, but you got two of them. All right. As far as the blood on your foot, how did you clean that up? So we were talking. You had blood on
Swiffer wet jet.
Okay, Swiffer wet jet. And where did you get that from?
Can't let me borrow it.
Where's it at now?
I returned it
to Cat.
Yeah. I don't know where it's at now. I just brought it back. And gave it back to her.
Did you use anything else?
Hydrogen peroxide for the tiles and the hard floors. Just the big globs needed a little bit.
Hydrogen peroxide. Did that seem to help get rid of the blood?
Well, it hurt my foot, that stuff. But it didn't really help. Okay. It kind of just made a mess.
And when you say only on tiles, I'm trying to remember your house.
I couldn't do carpet with it. It would ruin the carpet, right?
It would. I think so. Tiles, are we talking kitchen? Because downstairs is just like cement.
Well, when I had some blood on the basement, I used the peroxide.
Okay. Basement floor and tiles in the kitchen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, peroxided. It wasn't as much. Like, there were like this size pools in the kitchen.
Okay.
I was pinching it pretty dang hard, but which was also cutting deeper because I might still have another piece of glass.
Is that the biggest pool that you saw?
This was downstairs. This was kind of on the stone, close to the glass, and then there was one right at the base, kind of where the chairs I put, like a good, like 2-3 inch diameter.
2-3 inch diameter.
Okay. More than that.
Did you do anything to, so I wrote down on Tuesday that you tried getting the glass cleaned up in the basement, tossed it in the glass and recycling. Did you clean up at all when it actually happened?
No, my dad was furious. So he did stuff.
To clean it?
Yeah, I don't know what he did. But he sent me to my room upstairs. He did whatever he did, but it still was on the floor after he was done.
Okay. Did your dad get injured at all when the glass broke? Did he step on any or anything?
He sent me up, but I don't doubt it. If he gets mad, he's not thinking.
So we don't know if your dad got hurt?
No.
Okay.
No. My best guess is that guy reached in the fireplace and cut his arm or something. I don't know. So, head pain, do you guys have like Tylenol or something? I know you guys can't really offer anything like that. But
like a headache?
Yeah, I've been getting the migraines from all of the hits and stuff.
We can try to get you something like that. So cleaning up the blood, we just got the Swiffer and the hydrogen peroxide.
Just kind of smeared it around. There's another thing. Paper toweling. Yeah, just that. Okay. And then there's, I don't know.
Where did all those paper towels go? Just in the trash?
Yeah. They're just everywhere. In my car trash, in my trash.
They ended up in the car trash?
There's a bag in the car that I carry around. It's a car trash.
Oh, okay.
It's like a gallon bag.
Okay.
That's more portable than the garbage can. So, yeah, bloody rag after bloody rag, just trying to get it all off. And, I don't know, it was a lot. I didn't feel sick, so it couldn't have been that much, right?
Yeah, you didn't lose enough to pass out or anything. Is there any reason to believe mom or dad's blood would be somewhere in the house? Have they been injured at all that you're aware of?
Well, my dad scratches his psoriasis till he, like, gushes blood.
Okay. Gushing, describe gushing to me.
Enough to run down your leg, like cover your leg, I suppose, like, he has it on his knee. So when he does this, it just, drips down. I ask him to stop, but he doesn't do it when he's stressed out.
Yeah.
He just kind of like, it's his tick.
Yeah, probably itches. Does he, does it enough to get on the floor? Does it leave?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like how much, like, before we were talking the water bottle lid and the Yeti lid, is there, are we talking puddles like that, or just bins, or?
It could be enough.
Okay.
But I'm thinking, Yeti lid if he's there and I don't catch him soon enough.
Oh, jeez.
My mom's blood, just from her bloody noses she gets sometimes when she wakes up. That's why we've been doing the humidifier and dehumidifiers.
Yeah. Probably downstairs you get the...
We have to do multiple of them, but she can't be in the living room too long because that's a dehumidifier. And if she does, her nose gets bad. not like a regular one. She gets it bad. But she either goes to the kitchen to fix it, her vanity, or the bathroom.
When she has bloody noses, are we talking it's just spraying around? Is it just dripping?
Well, it's not squirting, but it's just dripping, and she doesn't notice it.
Okay.
Because she can't feel it anymore.
Okay. Is there any reason to believe that in either one of their vehicles there would be any of their blood?
Their vehicles?
Yeah. Or anybody's vehicle, let's say that.
Maybe car trash. Mom's car trash would definitely, the past few days. My dad's car trash.
Why would they have blood in their car trashes?
Well, my mom does the bloody noses with the air conditioning, so when we have air conditioning, my mom will have to use bring towels and stuff, because in the hot days you can't have your windows open, you won't drive well. So air conditioning, my mom will have nosebleeds. My dad hasn't had them as much as she does, but he gets them.
Okay.
His are worse than my mom's.
Does he ever get them in the house then, or?
Mostly just with air conditioning, and sometimes with a dehumidifier.
Okay.
Me personally, just in air conditioning. I get them, but I'm not as bad as my parents. It's not bad.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm just listening right now. I'm just thinking. It's kind of absorbing. I just want to make sure that I'm asking everything so I don't have to keep calling you and stuff.
Do you know my brother? Is he okay?
Mitch?
Yeah, did he make it? I know, that's a long drive for
He hasn't
those
called.
two.
Yeah, he hasn't called me at all, so I don't know.
I don't think they've ever done a trip like that.
So it's like 3 hours, 3.5. I looked up.
Mitch and Kayla have it.
As far as up at the cabin, when do you think the last time you were up there?
Personally, last year. Memorial Day, I believe. If it wasn't the weekend before Memorial. I didn't make the parade. I never got to go last year.
When do you think the last time your mom or dad were at the cabin before?
My dad went when my brother was diagnosed with diabetes.
When was that?
The weekend before my concussion, so 1, 2, 3, well, not including this week, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 weeks. He went up.
Brother doing okay. He wasn't born with diabetes then?
No, this was, like, it's the kind you're born with.
June of this year? Like 3-4 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Okay.
He went up, noticed our plumbing's gone to crap, and he bought a new set or something at a flea farm or a Home Depot, or it's like a 4-way converter type thing for the plumbing. Something
for the cabin.
Yeah, for the cabin.
It's for like a toilet, or
yeah, we have a toilet up there actually now.
Nice. Not just an outhouse.
No, there is an outhouse.
Yeah, you want to ask for him?
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Cool. What did you say?
I got Advil, does that work?
Yeah. Cool. I was like, I thought you said Adderall.
No, I don't
No, not that. Just Advil. Just over the counter stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like 3 of them, Mark?
Yeah. There you go. Appreciate it.
You bet. I'll look at I'll drop them on there.
Thanks, Tim.
Say Advil on them, right? You put them on your mouth already? They're ready. They are.
No, I just got
So the plumbing went
truth serum. No.
Is it like was it a sink or a toilet or what was it with the plumbing that went bad?
So when we have to pour water in every time we go up to start the pump.
Oh, okay.
So for some reason by pouring water in, the water never rose in the toilet bowl apparently. So you couldn't flush it. The water didn't come to the toilet. So you need a new thing to stop whatever the problem was. I think leaking. I don't know. I didn't hear everything from him.
Sure. How did he find out about that?
He?
Yeah. How did he know that there was a plumbing issue up there?
Well, he went up there just to go see the cabin.
Oh, so when he went up a couple weeks ago, he realized an issue this time and he wanted to fix it.
Well, he fixed the major issue, so it won't be flooding the house.
Okay.
The cabin. Now, he wanted the pipe set to redo it.
Okay.
Because we need new pipes because they're lead. And I think we might be moving to plastic because there's no water heat. We can do plastic.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out what that part was. But that was when Mitch, diabetes, the number one.
Did Mitch go up there with him? When
My mom and I were kind of with Mitch all that weekend doing stuff.
Dad just went along.
Yep. And then later that week, I had my fall, and I've just started getting my memory back.
Okay.
So,
has Mom been up there this year at all?
Mom has not been up there this year. Maybe they were up there before. No, I think Dad did it all himself, maybe. I mean, this is first.
And Mitch hasn't been in the cabin in a while, right?
Today?
Oh, well, other than today.
Yeah, I couldn't say he's been there. He didn't go last year.
Okay. Does he kind of do his own thing, or?
Mitch hasn't lived with us, or, he's got a family now, a dog, a girlfriend, no kids, but cool. He's kind of, opposite side of town. You know how it is with brothers.
Yeah.
He's flew the coop.
Got a few of them myself.
Yeah.
All right.
I've started thinking about that myself, and my parents are trying to figure that out with me.
Yeah, Bill, anything you read about that? We got all the background, I think, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So, I think it's time we start talking about what happened to your parents. Like the truthful version. Okay. So, we have like 20 pages of writing. We're going to start with a clean white piece of paper for you to start telling the truth. Okay. What? Because listen to me. This is the only chance you're going to have to tell us the truth. Okay. Listen. I can't tell you what we know, but we know you're not telling us the truth. We know your parents are no longer with us. Okay, and we know the reason why. Okay, you need to tell the truth. Listen. You need to tell the truth about what happened, and just tell us why it happened. Okay? If something happened, if you were defending yourself, or if you just got fed up with stuff, you need to tell us the truth. Okay? This is your chance to tell us why. Okay? I'm not BSing you. Okay? So can we do that?
Okay, they're okay. Lawyer. I'm sorry. Say it again, Shannon.
Lawyer.
Okay.
Because they're...
Okay. You want a lawyer?
Yeah, they're okay.
Okay.
True. Yeah. I'll just write down the time there. It's about 6:41.
You're under arrest. Okay.
What happened? Okay.
You know what happened. We're not going to tell you what happened. You know what happened. You were there when it happened.
We're not BSing you, okay?
I wasn't there when it happened.
We know more than you think we know, okay? There's people that have told us things. We have evidence, we have proof that more has happened, okay? So your parents never made it to the cabin, and I think you know that. Okay, so you're asking for an attorney. We're not going to ask any more questions.
Understand.
You want to stand up and just come over here for me? Do you have anything in your pockets at all? Wallet? Just a wallet that they put in there? Oh. Little sister there, vape in the corners. Okay. So they won't take the vape down in the jail. Okay. Where's the wire? Where's your coin purse at?
You just took it.
Oh, that's a vape and a coin purse.
No, it's in.
Oh, in. I got you. So I'm just gonna make sure you don't hit it. Okay. Yeah, that's really hand by that.
Now, around this time, Chandler started telling people an extraordinarily bizarre set of claims. That he had a brain bleed, a hematoma, that he had spinal damage, that he needed his head drilled open, that he inability to use his legs at all. Couldn't drive. People had to do that for him. That he had nerve damage, that he needed to get a colostomy bag. But most importantly, he couldn't go to Florida. The doctors had told him he couldn't fly. Of course, that's not true. At some point, did you talk to a police officer about something you perhaps noticed or remembered from July 1st of 2021?
Yes, I did. Well, what caught my attention was while I was there doing that for a period of time, all of a sudden I could detect a strong odor just of burning wood. And so I thought someone maybe had a fireplace or I should say a fire pit or something outside going. They're just burning some firewood. But about 5 minutes or so later, all of a sudden that odor of burning wood became a distinct odor that was more like in the line of what I thought someone was like barbecuing a large pork, like in one of these large barbecue pits or whatever that can hold a whole pork.
And you have that observation that day. You're not here to say exactly what that smell was, right?
Other than it smelled to me like, yeah, it was something burning of a meat or fats or something.
You texted often with Miss Larson?
Yes, I did.
Positive relationship, a good relationship?
Yeah,
Did you like her?
I did like Miss Holderson a lot.
Did you like Mr. Halderson?
Yes, I did.
Now we're into Tuesday, July 6th, messages between you and Chandler?
Yes.
Okay. On July 6th, 2021, around 9, now we're into Tuesday in the afternoon. What do you say to him?
Parents home.
What did that mean to you?
Are your parents home?
Had you discussed with Chandler, like, where are your parents before this message was sent? Was this a follow-up, or was this the first kind of time you were asking?
Follow up.
Okay. And was that a verbal conversation where you were asking him where they were?
Yes.
Okay. What did he tell you in that verbal conversation?
There's poor reception up north and by the cabin, so that's why he had been hearing from them.
Okay. So you say parents home. Go ahead and read Chandler's response. 9:05.
No.
What do you say?
Text Mitch.
Mitch is his brother.
Correct.
Why'd you think you should text Mitch?
His parents still weren't home at the time they said they would be, and he wasn't receiving many messages from his mother that weekend, and that was highly unusual since she texts quite often.
There'll be a pause.
You're under arrest. Okay.
What happened? Okay.
You know what happened. We're not going to tell you what happened. You know what happened. You were there when it happened. We're not BSing you, okay?
Exhibit 68.
Yep, that's the messy shed.
70. There's an item here along the back wall, kind of by some boards.
Yeah, there's a bird bath there.
Can you tell at all from this angle what was behind the bird bath?
Well, there's a rifle there.
So I'm showing first this one. This is Chandler's ID, and then you put it up next to that serial number.
Yes, sir.
Had Chandler asked you for this gun, or was this just your idea?
Yeah, I think he had at one point asked for it as a joke, but mostly it was my idea, sir.
Okay. You brought him other things that go with the gun?
Yes, sir.
What type of things?
So I had brought him a steel canister that had contained roughly 480 rounds of 7.62 by 39 steel case tool ammo.
And is that the ammunition that goes with that weapon?
Yes, sir.
Okay. When I talked to the advisor, he sounds just like Chaz on the phone. Now this kept going. The lie about going to MATC or Madison College was the most extensive. There were emails, dozens if not hundreds of emails going back and forth between supposed advisors at MATC and Chandler, and then he'd forward them to his dad from people like someone named Alyssa Brandt, 64. Sometimes Chandler would spell Brandt, B-R-A-N-D-T, sometimes just with a T and no D, depended on the day. But they all had the @Gmail address, not @madisoncollege.edu. And you'll hear from the people at Madison College, their people have real emails, they don't use Gmail. Bart Halderson, just before his murder, talked to a man named Omar Job. Omar Job is a entry-level customer service guy at MATC. He's got no skin in the game, doesn't even really remember the call, but it was recorded for customer service. And when you look at Bart Halderson's work calendar that he maintains at his accounting firm, you see something quite interesting. Remember at the beginning I said I wanted you to remember a date and a time, which was that the Haldersons were killed between 3 and 5 p.m. on July 1st, 2021. Guess what was on Bart's calendar at that exact time? He was supposed to have a meeting with the people at MATC with his son.
Tried getting the glass cleaned up in the basement, tossed it in the glass and recycling. Did you clean up at all when it actually happened?
No, my dad was furious. So he did stuff
to clean it.
Yeah, I don't know what he did, but he's sent me.
Is the defense ready to proceed with arraignment at this time?
Yes, Your Honor. We did receive a copy of that information, and as you said, it does track the amended complaint. Waive formal reading and stand mute to the charges.
Not guilty pleas will be entered to all 8 counts within the information.
But the evidence in this case you'll find is overwhelming. Chandler Halderson killed his parents on July 1st, 2021. He cut up their bodies with axes and saws and knives. And he didn't even give them the dignity of having a funeral or even a final resting place in one piece or together. Their remains were scattered across Dane County, in public land, on farms, in garbage cans, in rivers, and perhaps every ditch is a possibility in this county. You'll find the evidence in this case is overwhelming. Now, over the next couple of weeks, I'll make you a couple promises as your prosecutor in this case. I'm not here to waste your time. But of all the constitutional rights we talked about of Chandler, he has them. I want you to respect them. there's another one that you should know, which is this is the only time we get to have this trial. You get one trial in the United States of America, and I have to do it right. I'm going to ask you to deliver a verdict of guilty, to finally bring some much needed truth to Chandler Halderson. Thank you.
So Mitchell, I need to ask you a few difficult questions. Are you a beneficiary for your parents' life insurance?
I am. It is in the, if I'm remembering correctly, it is in the ballpark of around $1 million. I believe it went to my mom first. If my dad's death had preceded my mom's, or I guess their policies listed each other as primary, but then yes, also my brother was listed in the same line as I was.
Look for alternate explanations. Because the second thing I want to tell you is that evidence of one thing is not necessarily evidence of another thing. One fact here could mean a different fact here, but it also could mean 3 or 4 other facts. So you have to avoid jumping to conclusions and really dig deep and look at what this all means.
Their argument was, poor bastards, they didn't have a hope.
Only convict when it's proven, or if it's proven, which it won't be, beyond a reasonable doubt. Be sure to look for what you're not told, because that's evidence just as much as any evidence is.
Do you know how Bart was killed? Exactly how he was killed. Do you know how Krista was killed? Do you know if it was an awful accident? Do you know if it was intentional? Do you know if there was someone else involved? You don't. And that's a problem.
The verdict form on count 1, as signed by the presiding juror and dated today, reads, "We, the jury, find the defendant Chandler M. Halderson guilty of first-degree intentional homicide as to Bart A. Halderson. We, the jury, find the defendant Chandler M. Halderson guilty of first-degree intentional homicide as to Krista R. Halderson, as charged in count 5 of the amended information."
And for 17 minutes, Bart Halderson, just before his murder, talked to a man named Omar Joe. Bart Halderson, shortly after that, sends a text message. A text message that ultimately sealed his fate, which was a text to his own son. And it says, "I spoke with Omar Jobe." Guess what was on Bart's calendar? On July 1st, he was supposed to have a meeting with the people at MATC with his son at 3 o'clock. Of course, that meeting couldn't happen, but Bart Halderson knew that. Chandler had obviously figured that out at this point. There was no way out of this one. You can't get out of this lie. And so the next day, Chandler Halderson wakes up on July 1st and starts messaging his girlfriend. 7:26, I hardly slept. 7:27, stuff hasn't been going well for me lately. Just trying to plan for the next thing to fuck me over. 7:51, I had a great future planned. It's falling apart. 1:04, just 2 hours prior to the murders. I overheard they might go to the cabin with their friends, but I don't know. Now, shortly after this message, Bart Halderson's getting ready to go to MATC for this meeting. Bart texts Chandler, "I'm ready whenever you are." That's about 50 minutes prior to when he was killed. Those are the last words ever recorded of Bart Halderson. The neighborhood he lives in, riddled with security cameras, never see him again. And after shooting his dad, Chandler texts his mom, "Dad's phone died. Text or call me. And get sewed on your way home. I have an extra hour of work." She responds, "K, I can," smiley face. Those are the last words of Krista Halderson alive. Neighborhood security cameras, the Haldersons didn't have one, but the neighborhood, a lot of people did, show Krista pulling in, getting out of the car, walking in. She's never seen again until her legs are found out by the Wisconsin River. That night, what appears to have happened is Mr. Halderson took items from around the house and began cutting apart his parents. Saw blades covered in Bart and Krista's blood. An axe, Bart and Krista's blood. handsaws, things of that sort, covered in Bart and Krista's blood. He cleaned the house as best he could, and you'll hear about that. But still, blood spatter found of Bart and Krista's blood around the house. And he had a plan. And that was he was going to burn the remains in the family fireplace there in the house. So it's July 1st. And if any of you remember, 4th of July weekend's pretty hot this year. People in the neighborhood thought it was a little bit weird that so much fireplace was going on. They smelled stuff.
About 5 minutes or so later, all of a sudden that odor of burning wood became a distinct odor that was more like in the line of what I thought someone was like barbecuing a large pork, like in one of these large barbecue pits or whatever that can hold a whole pork. Kind of came real strong and kind of like a pungent smell, to the point that I actually walked down my driveway half the distance and kind of looked up and down the street to see if anybody was doing anything like grilling or something else was going on, and I didn't see anything at that point. It was something burning of a meat or fats or something.
And that night, a neighbor who had a security camera behind the Halderson home, way far away, was able to catch something. Because it was pitch black at night, he was able to catch just a little glimpse of all the windows in the Halderson house. We have an expert that's going to come in who works with video and light analysis. And he's going to tell you, he was able to figure out which window that was. It was the window by the fireplace. And for many hours over the course of that night, the light flickered. But in the early morning hours the next day, he'd been up all night doing this. Because you'll learn, you really can't burn human remains. Your home fireplace is not going to get hot enough to do that. But eventually, in the middle of the night, the fire started going well. But that light at one point grew and grew and grew, and it got very bright in one room. And then all of a sudden, the kitchen light came on, and then all the lights went out. I don't know if anyone's ever taken a hot Pyrex pan out of the stove and put water in it, but it explodes the glass. The evidence in this case will show that what happened was the fire had gotten out of control, burning these human remains. Human fat was rendering out. It was igniting. So Chandler threw water on it. But when you throw water on your residential fireplace, you break the glass. And that's exactly what happened. Just above that broken glass panel, which is clearly shattered, you see the paint kind of bubbled off from the heat. But what stuck out to police right away was that little rock right there.
It smells like barbecued pork oftentimes, or the grease that you would get from barbecuing a pork shoulder. And this is the smell that I associated with what I was gathering from inside that fireplace when I was down in front of it and working near it. I would not be able to make a determination while there if it was human bone or non-human bone.
Do you rely on another expert to make that determination?
I do indeed.
So this is actually that little piece of bone that you guys saw in that other picture. This is consistent with cranial bone, or bone from the skull. We found a total of 106 fragments of bone that were able to be identified. From those 106, 53 of them were considered to be on the cranium. When I'm saying cranium, I'm talking about skull and also mandible. And then we were able to identify 18 of them as hands, part of the hands, 24 of them as dental fragments, and 8 of them as vertebrae, and 3 of them as long bones. In addition to that, I had 124 fragments that I know they're bone, but I was unable to identify them. So we had a grand total of 230 bones, fragmented bones that were found, again, inside the fireplace, on the grate, and also on the ash disposal area.
Obviously, things weren't going well burning his parents' remains, so the next day, he knew his girlfriend was spending the night that night, so he spent the whole day cleaning, but he's sending her text messages, which you will see throughout the day, asking her to bring him hydrogen peroxide and a mop. Saturday, July 3rd, 2021. His girlfriend leaves early in the morning. That's the day she snaps that picture of him out by the Wisconsin River dumping off his mom's remains. July 4th, 2021. This is the day he texts himself. Spends the day with his girlfriend's family, goes to their farm to use the pool. That's the day he says, "Hey, can I come back tomorrow?" No mention of his parents. The next day, takes out the garbage in the morning. Who knows what was in that garbage can? He goes out to the farm to supposedly use the pool where he's seen walking out of the woods. The next day, not much happens. But he's not doing much. But people begin questioning him about his parents. The next day, he drives back to the farm, throws a bag of bloody rags into their garbage can, and at 11:22, he texts his girlfriend that he's finally going to the police. The next day, he starts Googling body found, Wisconsin dismembered body found. He's walking door to door asking about security cameras in his neighborhood. And at 4 p.m., they take him downtown and they arrest him at 6:41. So that's the story. That's why you're here for a couple weeks. Chandler Halderson killed his parents on July 1st, 2021. You'll find the evidence in this case is overwhelming. I'm going to ask you to deliver a verdict of guilty, to finally bring some much needed truth to Chandler Halderson. Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney Brown.